That down, guys. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, the Golden Globes are completely useless. That is one of my...
There goes our shot.
Yeah, there goes our shot at it. But listen, I give credit where it's due. They added a new category recently. Best stand-up special. Best stand-up special.
Wow.
Was one of the new categories. And you know what? Just other than the previous new category they did, which best box office and cinema accomplishment, which was just idiotic. But the addition of the best stand-up one was actually a really good addition. That's become a big thing in home entertainment now, is the stand-up comedy specials on the various streaming services. I like that addition. Not so much the best successful movie award. That is so stupid. But anyway, the Golden Globes have just announced they're adding another category. Best podcast. I have questions, but let's go over to Deadline first. They write this. Organizers of the Golden Globes on Wednesday said that their ceremony will introduce a best podcast category beginning with the 83rd Golden Globes in 2026. The recognition for the burgeoning medium will mark a first for a major film and TV award show. To date, podcasts have been recognized mostly in digital forward award shows like the Webby Awards, the Ambies, the iHearts Awards, and the Shorty Awards. Other awards groups that have podcast categories include the Peabody Awards, which revealed in their latest winners list this month, and the NAACP Image Awards. Okay. So here's my first reaction to this. Feels like yet another desperate gasp by the Golden Globes to get attention. Because much like their best box office and cinematic achievement thing, that's just an excuse for them to have given Wicked an award last year. It's just an excuse to put in some of the more popular films to get attention on the Golden Globes. Podcasting is insanely popular right now. We do a podcast. Podcasting is insanely popular right now. But what exactly does it have to do with anything else involved? Now you take something like True Noir.
Yes, do that.
Which one should. One should be checking out True Noir. If you check out something like True Noir, that is scripted drama. And there are podcasts that are like that are scripted drama. Likened unto the old radio serials, right? I can see that being a category because it's scripted drama.
We have Academy Award nominees, Emmy winners.
Yeah, like everybody does them now, right? I could see that. But I think, again, it was very telling that in announcing they're going to have a podcast category, they didn't announce anything about what that means. Does that mean Bobby Biff, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles every Monday morning after they Sunday game, does that qualify?
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Does that qualify? There's literally a podcast on 101 uses of spam. Does that qualify?
Yes.
The food or mail?
The food. Does that qualify? But the other one would too. Or at least would it? Or is this going to be limited to like movies, television, audio drama in podcast form? If it's just the audio drama podcast form thing, I can actually, because I said my first reaction was this is just desperate. But if they do come out and specify this is like drama, this is scripted entertainment, but in a different medium, I think I could get on board with that. If they're going to nominate the Joe Rogan Show, or if they're going to nominate, God forbid, the John Campea Show, or if they're going to nominate like something that has nothing to do with anything regarding
interview shows that are just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do that, then it's like, then this is just desperate. There are other award shows that cover this. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this. What is your first reaction? Should they make the distinction as to what is a podcast for them versus other? I don't know. How would you handle this?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the Golden Globes, they break things into comedy, drama, comedies and musicals. That's one category of film. So if you're saying podcast, there's probably far more different kinds of podcasts than there are different kinds of movie genres. So just by saying podcast, I don't know what that means. I have no idea. What are the criteria that they're going to use? I think, first of all, I think it's great that they're recognizing such a new popular form of entertainment. But even movies have a finite number of how many podcasts are you going to listen to or watch over the year to figure out which is the best. I mean, I don't even understand where you'd begin with such a category. I think it's cool they're doing it, but I have no idea what the criteria is. What do they deem?
Let me ask you this. Let's say the Golden Globes get a hold of you and say, we need a recommendation from you about what is our criteria. What would you think should be like criteria that would make this valid?
Well, I mean, first of all, I would say okay, an interview show is different than, say, a true crime podcast that delves into a real murder. Those are two very different things. So I would ask, I want to know, are you looking for narrative? That would be the different thing. Narrative is different than interview. And I would say that's a demarcation point. Because if you're doing a true crime podcast, you're spinning a narrative, which is different than an interview show. So that could be
it's almost like an audio
point.
Documentary.
Yeah,
exactly.
That would be more of something you would have to craft.
Yeah,
that would
documentary
go along
versus
the lines of what
scripted.
movie making is. Yeah, that's scripted. Because if you're just interviewing somebody, well, then you're awarding the interviewer, like best podcaster. And I would think, Joe Rogan would probably be at the top of that list because his diversity of guests and how long he has them on. But there are other good interview podcasts too about other things. Like if you did if you're Martha Stewart and did a podcast, she's only doing whatever she does, but it's limited in scope. So there's a lot of questions. I would split it into, I would make it a narrative just because I've worked in that medium. But I mean,
but see, I would personally go further. I would make it not just narrative. It would be scripted narrative.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like storytelling.
Yes.
Right.
Like Chris Carr and you do in True Noir.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, Chris,
Best actress.
it's interesting because if you do want to include the other ones, you now create 15 categories of podcast, or is it just, anyway, if they got a hold of you, Chris, and said, okay, we're dedicated to doing podcast. What should our criteria be? How would you advise them?
I would absolutely push them towards narrative podcasting, because otherwise, I mean, it's just like New York Times bestsellers, right? There's a book on everything. There's a podcast on everything. Amy and I literally do a podcast about not knowing fandoms. Like that's our whole thrust. There's people who do things, the Sporkful that talks about, like the Jello heiress. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there.
There's a Jello
right?
heiress?
There's a Jello
See,
heiress and a potential Jello curse. Honestly, the Sporkful, you guys should listen to it. But in that case, that's a podcast that won a James Beard Award because it's food centric. And that categorization makes sense.
A guy who has a beard talks about Jello?
James Beard, the awards for food? Robert, come on.
Trying to make
You're
a Jello-
cultured.
I was trying to make a beard
Come
Jello
on.
joke.
It's
A beard
okay. It's
Jello
all
joke.
right. They can't all be fire, and they usually are.
Okay, sorry.
All right? It's just very spaghetti at the wall right now. Of, hey, this is a very popular medium, so let's do everything, is what it feels like right now. And I don't understand what the criteria would be then for voting down through that. Of if it is every single podcast, that's way too far of a net, right? And I know we already have Best Picture and things of that nature, but it is a format, right? That we were talking about narrative filmmaking. And then there's documentary or short film or things like that. You have to have some kind of gauge like that when it comes to the podcast too, of either categorization, length, narrative versus non-narrative, that kind of thing. So this is just a lot of white noise right now.
Look, I don't mean to be pessimistic, but it's so easy to when you're talking about the Golden Globes. I think I'll tell you right now how it's going to shake out. there's not going to be any criteria. They're going
Right,
to look
yeah.
at the Apple Podcast list. They're going to take the most popular podcasts in the world.
And who's willing to go see them?
That's right. And who's likely, if they're at the Golden Globes, will get most of their followers to watch the show. I guarantee you. I don't even know if Mr. Beast has a podcast, but Mr. Beast will get nominated. That Joe Rogan will get nominated. Talk Tua will get nominated. Whatever. They're just simply going to look at the charts and say, "Oh, these are the most popular ones." That's what might get us.
She's
people
back,
watching.
by the way.
Is she?
Is she from her crypto scandal?
Yeah, she's back from a crypto scandal. I don't know if it's Vanity Fair. She's got an expose.
Good for
She
her.
did a fashion.
You know, I'll give her the
Resilient.
I saw some of
Resilience,
the
that
crypto stuff.
Tua.
The crypto stuff wasn't really her fault.
No,
I'll give
I
her
know.
that. I mean, she shouldn't be a thing. She
No.
shouldn't be a thing. But the crypto stuff wasn't her fault.
She didn't
Okay.
create
Yeah,
it.
she just put her name on something and went, "Oh
Yep.
no!"
Oopsie. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's just going to be who's the most popular
If you take your
podcasters. Who
financial
can we get? And
advice
that's
from
all it's
somebody
going to be.
known for their literal spit take, I feel like you shouldn't. You get
You
what she
should have been giving
deserves.
advice in a different direction.
Exactly.
All
One
right,
that's
guys.
not wind facing.
Question is for you. What do you think about this? The Golden Globes are going to introduce a best podcast category. Good idea, bad idea. If you were in charge, would you do it? And if so, what kind of criteria will you set up? Or are you more pessimistic like me that they're just going to use this as a clout thing to try to get the kiddies to watch the Golden Globes? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.